All right, y'all. Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Thank the Lord it is Friday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the Four, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Today, of course, is a 48 First Alert weather day, so we are actually going to begin with weather this afternoon. Like I said, a 48 First Alert weather day has been activated due to the chance of severe thunderstorms starting tonight until the early mornings, or until the early hours, rather, of the morning. First Alert meteorologist Jada Russell lets us know what to expect. Jada?
We've got a First Alert weather day on deck for your Friday night. We're going to start to see scattered showers and thunderstorms moving into the valley closer to the 8 and 9 o'clock hour. So at kickoff, things will be a little cloudy in the mid 80s, but as we get closer to the second half of the game and even as games start to wrap up for the night, that's when things will take a turn to be a little bit stronger out the door. So keep that in mind as you pack for your games tonight. You want to make sure somebody has a poncho, an umbrella, something to protect yourself from the rain. And the biggest deal with this is not getting severe thunderstorms. The biggest problem is the fact that so many folks are going to be out and about enjoying their evening, even their Saturday mornings. That's our biggest threat here, which makes it a weather day for you. So we're going to take it hour by hour now. At 8:30, a lot of our western communities will start to see the rain chances. By this point, a good deal of cold air will have blasted through most of our communities, putting some folks in those upper end 70s. And as we continue to about 9:30, that's when we start to see some heavier showers making their way across the northern portion of our community here. We're also dealing with those mid and upper 70s, and throughout the night, we'll start to see some heavier rain chances heading into your Saturday. That's when we'll start to hear the loudest bit of thunder, and as we go through most of Saturday morning, we'll get a slight moment of clarity, but once we get to the 6 and 7 o'clock hours, even 8 a.m., that's when we start to build those showers and storms back in, and it'll cool us off a good deal, keeping us into those upper 60s for some folks and mid 70s for other communities. That's the temperatures that we'll see throughout the day. Hope you have a great rest of your Friday, and I'll take it over to AJ for now.
All right, thank you, Jada. And also don't forget First Alert Weather Extra. It's streamed tonight at 9:30. Jada Russell will have all the latest that she's seeing on the radar. Make sure to leave a comment. Any thoughts, concerns, Jada will do her best to get back to you for any of those comments. But First Alert Weather Extra, you can watch it wherever you're watching Before the 4 this afternoon. Jada Russell will be back here in the 48 Now Center, and she'll have all the latest. You're just not going to want to miss it. But now moving out to the city of Rainsville, where a person is now in police custody following a shooting early this morning. Now, authorities say around 12:18 this morning, Rainsville police received a call on Woodridge Circle for a possible shooting into an occupied building. Patrol officers and investigators responded to the area. Now, after a quick investigation, a suspect was found and was taken into custody. Now, this is all we have confirmed at this time, but 48's Will Eldridge is speaking with Rainsville police this afternoon, and he'll have more coming up in our evening newscasts. But now in Lawrence County, where earlier today we learned that a person was bitten by a venomous snake yesterday afternoon. This happened in the Bankhead National Forest around 3 o'clock yesterday. Authorities say the patient, who was a male in his early 30s, was experiencing symptoms including vomiting, swelling, and abdominal pain resulting from the bite to the lower leg. He is expected to be okay. Now, authorities say the type of snake was a copperhead. 48's Callie Neese will be bringing us the latest on this situation coming up in our evening newscast, so make sure to stick around. But now we are going to take a quick 1-minute break, but coming up, you know what we're talking about. Right here, a whole lot of high school football going on across the Tennessee Valley tonight. Now in week 2, hard to believe. This is the week where region play begins, and we'll go through it all, including our 48 game of the week, coming up in just 1 minute. All right, the break is over. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, let's talk a bit about our 48 game of the week, shall we? A heated one tonight. The energy will certainly be in the air because we're talking about the Madison Bowl. The James Clemens Jets versus the Bob Jones Patriots. Always an electric atmosphere that one is, and truly is anyone's game. I will say James Clemens has won 6 of the last 7 times the two have met, but 48's Kaylee Tinkelstad lets us know what to expect in tonight's big game. Let's take a look.
There's no bigger game in Madison County than the James Clemens Jets and the Bob Jones Patriots. Once one school, now two, divided by just 5 miles, known as the Madison Bowl. Friday night will mark the 14th meeting in this young rivalry. A very tight series, Bob Jones enters into this season's matchup, leading the rivalry by just 1 game all time. However, the Jets dominated the series late, winning 6 of the last 7 meetings. And while bragging rights are always a prize, there's a lot more on the line in this battle. The Jets and Patriots enter Friday's game undefeated, aiming to also notch the first region win within Class 7A, Region 4. And to make this matchup more electric, it's played at a neutral site here at Madison School Stadium. In Madison, Kaylee Tingelstad, 48 Sports, on your side.
Yeah, it should be a good one. There's no doubt about it. And we're going to go through some of the other games happening tonight. We got Huntsville, the Panthers taking on Grissom. That should be a good game tonight. Florence taking on Albertville. Interesting matchup there as the Florence Falcons will be traveling to Albertville to Sand Mountain to be facing off against the Aggies. Should be an exciting game tonight. We also have Austin and Sparkman. Always an electric game right there. And let's go through a couple others. Athens-Coleman, a big rivalry there. I know the Athens Golden Eagles, if you all watched Beyond the Lights, last year we followed the Athens Golden Eagles. And let's just say that is a rivalry that Athens takes a lot of pride in winning. Athens won last year, but let's see if Coleman can respond. Should be an extremely exciting game. Buckhorn taking on Gadsden City. We got Muscle Shoals and Columbia. It is definitely projected that Muscle Shoals will be winning that game over Columbia, but let's see. Columbia currently, of course, if you don't know, on a 93-game losing streak. They haven't won a game since, I believe, 2015. Very long losing streak right there, but they're facing off a red-hot Muscle Shoals team this week. We got Decatur and Jasper. We got Hazel Green taking on Mae Jemison. From what I understand, it's the Mae Jemison homecoming tonight against Hazel Green. And tons of other games going on here across the valley. Scottsboro, Boaz, Priceville, Ardmore. Let's go through just a couple others. Madison County, North Jackson, Plainview taking on Randolph. This is the second straight week Plainview has played a Huntsville area school, so let's see if the Bears can get the win tonight. But like I said, so many awesome games here in the Tennessee Valley, here in North Alabama. And also make sure to tune in to our 48 Blitz tailgate tour starting at 5:35 to catch the pregame festivities happening out in Madison. It's the Madison Bowl. I am so excited. You can watch that wherever you're watching Before the Four right now. Also, you're just not going to want to miss our 48 Blitz show at 10, as well as our Digital Blitz OT show at 10:35. Right here, wherever you're watching Before the Four, for all the final scores and highlights from across the valley. You're just not going to want to miss it. And of course, you can also check all the scores as they come in tonight on our website. Just go to WAFF.com. You'll go to sports and sports scores. We'll be updating them in real time tonight. So if you're curious about a game or you can't make it out to your favorite team's game tonight, that's the place for you. Heck yeah, gotta love it. Week 2 of high school football here in North Alabama. And speaking of things you're just not going to want to miss, let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. Of course, kitchen cops. Get all the latest scores from across the Tennessee Valley coming up. A woman in Madison turning 104 years young. And of course, the latest odds on the Powerball, now with the jackpot rising to $1.8 billion. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And I promised you all yesterday, it's time for Facebook fun. And our 48 Facebook question of the day, we asked it yesterday, but we're bringing it back today because we did not have enough time for Facebook fun and yesterday's before the four. So what was your first car? And of course, as I mentioned yesterday, my first car was a Mazda RX-8. I had it for maybe 5 months before it completely just died on me, and then I had to drive my dad's truck around for a little while. But I am currently in the market for getting a new car because the one I've had, I love it. It's a Pontiac Solstice, but it's about time for an upgrade without a doubt. But let's see what your first car was, and let's see what you all had to say. Looks like, is that Magdalena, a 1990 GMC Jimmy? She said she hated it. I think one of my cousins actually had a Jimmy. I don't know if it was a 1990 Jimmy, but they're interesting trucks for sure. Nothing wrong with a Jimmy. Let's see, what else did y'all say? Mariah said a 2007 Ford Focus, my first little cash car that got me back and forth in undergrad. Had for a good 6 years before it gave out. That's not too bad to have a car. 6 years? Absolutely. Thank you, Mariah. Let's see, Anthony. A 1983 Camaro. Oh, that is a dream car right there. I love Camaros, especially those 80s Camaros. They just made it different back then, without a doubt. Anthony, thank you for commenting. Let's see, Sheila, a 65 Mustang. And you are not the only person that commented a 65 Mustang. We had several comments from you all. That said a 65 Mustang. Great car right there. And then let's see. Rick Camp said a 1970 Chevelle. Gotta love those Chevelles. They are such beautiful cars. 100%. Rick, thank you for commenting. And everyone who commented on yesterday's 48 Facebook question, thank you so much. It always makes my day interacting with you all and seeing what you all had to say. Let's see, do we have any comments right now on Before the Four? Looks like Nicole, thank you for watching, Nicole. She said, thanks for the update. Absolutely. Thank you for watching Before the Four this afternoon. We have my good buddy Joseph. What are you doing tonight? What are you doing this weekend? Joseph, I will be here tonight covering some high school football here across the Tennessee Valley, and of course this weekend the football doesn't stop on Friday. Like, we have college football on Saturday, and of course now we have NFL football. If you all watched the game last night, the NFL kickoff, the Cowboys and the Eagles, we had a bit of a weather delay, but it was an exciting game without a doubt. The Eagles, they proved that they were the defending champions, and they got the win last night over the Cowboys. But it was a close game. I believe it was 24-20. Absolutely, 100%. So, yeah, Joseph, that's what I'll be doing this weekend. I'll be watching football because this is just the greatest time of the year, no doubt about it. But, y'all, that is just about it for today's Before the Four. Thank you all for watching, spending a bit of your afternoon here. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's evening newscast. Enjoy 48 Blitz and 48 Blitz OT and the tailgate tour. You're just not going to want to miss all the action. But that is it for today. I hope you all have a great weekend. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.